It's football, but it's football with different rules and different way to film it that makes the young generation very excited about it. We have 85% of our audience which is below 30 years old. The young generation, they want to be involved in what they are consuming. They want to be part of the story. Of people that are nobody, that could not become the big stars of the Real Madrid and Barca and all this stuff, but become digital stars thanks to Kings League. And this is kind of stories that people like, people love, and people can follow all year long. And then to open more leagues, I suppose that in 3-4 years we will have 30-40 leagues operational in the world.
Se avete più di 40 anni come me, forse non avete mai visto una partita di questa nuova lega, ma siccome di sicuro invece avete sentito almeno parlare della Kings League e alle cene con gli amici, soprattutto quelli più giovani, non volete sembrare boomer, ora vi spieghiamo bene di cosa si tratta. Se invece avete meno di 30 anni, di sicuro sapete bene di cosa stiamo parlando, ma probabilmente non conoscete a fondo tutti gli aspetti economici su cui si basa il business creato da Gerard Piqué. Quindi continuate a guardare il video e alla fine ne saprete di più. Per fare chiarezza su tutto abbiamo intervistato il CEO mondiale dell'organizzazione. Già che ci siete, iscrivetevi al canale e attivate la campanella, perché qui su YouTube non andiamo di fretta come sugli altri social. Ci prendiamo un po' di tempo e cerchiamo di approfondire e analizzare tutti gli argomenti che riguardano il business del calcio.
Kings League is a new way to play football that has been designed to target the young audiences that have a very different way to consume sports and entertainment. First of all, they consume on this. Second, it's a generation who has so much content which is available to them. I call them the swipe up generation. If they don't like it, they just swipe up and goes to another content. Young generation, they want to be involved in what they are consuming. They want to be part of the story. So the product that we have designed is a product that is, first of all, filmed in a way that you can enjoy it on a small device, and it looks like a video game when you look at it. Second, we have created rules that make it very intense. Something is happening every 2-3 minutes to make sure that you don't have 15 minutes where nothing is happening that would create a swipe up, basically. We have our audience is very involved in everything which is happening on the field. They are deciding plenty of things, like they have decided the color of the pitch, they have decided the location of some finals, they have decided some players play or not, they have decided the evolution of the rules, and we make them interact with the players, we make them interact with the president. It's football, but it's football with different rules and different way to film it that makes the young generation very excited about it.
Abbiamo capito quindi il succo, ma come è nato il progetto Kings League e chi sono i principali investitori?
All this came from the company that Gerard created when he was still a player, actually, when he created this company called Cosmos. Has done a lot of different projects in the world of sport. In football, they did a lot of documentaries. They have organized some events in different countries. In tennis, they have worked on the Davis Cup. And Kings League already really started like another project that he invented with his friends Ibai. Ibai is the biggest streamer in Spain, and together they imagined this concept. I really think that they didn't expect such a big success. That the success was far above expectations. And because it became such a success, Gerard decided that it was a good idea to expand the concept to a lot of countries. Then that's why we started this international expansion. To finance this international expansion, investors from the US and from Mexico who have invested something like 60 million euros last year. So now Gerard Piqué is still the majority shareholder of the company. The main investor is called Left Lane. It's an investment fund based in New York. But we have also some professional investors from the US called David Blitzer, for example, who was the owner of an NBA franchise. We have another fund called Philip from Mexico.
60 milioni investiti in un anno è una bella cifra, ma in quali paesi si è sviluppato il progetto e fino a dove può arrivare con l'espansione?
We have two countries where we have 2 years of history now. In Spain we have Kings League and Queens League, and in Mexico we have 2 leagues. Those 2 leagues are profitable. For now, the We are investing a lot in expanding our footprint. We have opened Italy. We have announced Brazil that will start to play end of March. We'll announce France in the coming days. We have announced a new investor in Germany. Bertelsmann invested with us in Kings League Germany, so we are planning something in Germany, and more to come in the second half of the year. And those countries, of course, requires a lot of investment because we have, for example, in Italy, we have built this entire structure, we have to assemble a team, etc., etc.
Va bene le espansioni, ma i conti come sono? La Lega riesce a produrre utili?
Our logic is basically to be profitable the second year of activity in each league. The first year we were loss making, the second year profitable. We are much more limited by our own capabilities. We are a company of 220 employees now, more or less, in the world. We are recruiting, and we'll probably be 350 at the end of the year. The beauty about our sport is football is played everywhere. We have received a lot of inbound interest from a lot of investors, sports operators, events management companies who wants to install Kings League in their country. We want to control our product, want to make sure that our product is operated correctly, but we will open more league in the future. We just need to have a roadmap that is manageable. So our plan is to have 8 leagues at the end of this year, and then to open more leagues. I suppose that in 3-4 years we will have 30-40 leagues operational in the world.
Molto bene, ma quindi qual è il modello di business? Da dove arrivano in pratica i soldi?
Our specific revenue model, we have made a choice which is different from the other big sport. The other big sports, as you know, are financed 75-80% by the media rights. This sport is a new sport. We are trying to talk to everyone, to the largest number, so it must be free and open to on any platform. And that's what we do. That's why we have those gigantic numbers. But then when we go to our partners, our sponsors, and we propose them to be partner of Kings League, so we associate our partners all year long to our events and to our content production. And thanks to our model, the brands reach a volume of impressions which is 10 times, 50 times higher than what you can get with traditional sports, because we are free and distributed everywhere. Our partners represent 65-70% of our revenue, and the sponsorship is not only during the games, because we produce a lot of content between the games and between the seasons. We have 85% of our audience which is below 30 years old. The biggest chunk is 15-25. These are really our...
La caratteristica di questa lega è che è riuscita a coinvolgere anche grandi giocatori non più in attività, delle leggende del calcio che hanno appeso da poco gli scarpini al chiodo e ora si sono rimessi in gioco sui campi della Kings League.
Honestly, I can say that almost 90% plus of the football legends we have talked to, they love the idea, they love the concept, and they want to be associated to it in a way or another. Our game is pretty intense. It's pretty intense. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a rhythm which is very different from the traditional football, because you don't have the moment where you can take back your breath, and you don't have that. The ones that are very technical, they love it because it's very technical, except that they need to be in good shape, because the intensity is very high. Some of them, I wouldn't give any names, they have been surprised by the intensity of the game, and then they've been put in situations that they didn't like too much. And some others, Kun Agüero, for example, is impressive. When he plays, he really makes difference in the game. And Pirlo, when he played, was also very good and very intense. Gerard Piqué himself, he will tell you that he cannot play this game. It's too intense for him. I mean, he played it, and my goodness, it's too fast. The reaction that we have when we talk to football players, legends of the game, most of them, they share the vision of Gerard. They know that something must happen. It's innovation. It's new. Having them with us is always fun, because it's great for the fans to see the legends that they have seen in the biggest stadium in the world playing in a small arena with underdogs. Our audience identify to the underdog players, so they have the impression that they play with Iker Casillas. When Iker, I mean, you see what I mean? It's crazy when you're a Spanish fan and you see a guy who is like you shooting a penalty to Iker. I mean, come on, the guy is God in Spain, right? It's like a Buffon, and then you see Mr. Nobody shooting a penalty to Iker, and Iker accept the game instead of saying, well, I'm Iker Casillas, nobody, whatever. And this is really fun. This is really something that they like, because it's again, they feel connected to their stars. Iker said something that it was very nice, and he was at the final in Torino, and he told me that again. I had a drink with him at the end, and he told me it's crazy because in the street, I see kids that know me for my team, my 1K team in Kings League, and not for what I've done before. We create some new type of stars. We have Kelvin Oliveira, the Brazilian player who scored all the goals of the Brazilian team in final. Or Nadir, who is a Spanish player, Moroccan origin, so he played with the Moroccan team in the National World Cup. Those two guys were completely unknown players. Nadir was Mr. Nobody. Both have a couple of millions of followers now. Kelvin Oliveira just signed a deal with Nike. Nike made the announcement with Kelvin Oliveira wearing the jersey of the Auriverde of Brazil with Ronaldo in the back. We had the same situation a year and a half ago when Adidas opened a big store in Madrid. They put two pictures like that of two players of Kings League at the entrance of their new stores. That is Cinderella stories, right? We create our own stories of people that are nobody, that could not become the big stars of the Real Madrid and Barca and all this stuff, but become digital stars thanks to Kings League. And this is kind of stories that people like, people love, and people can follow all year long.
Ora c'è chi dirà che la Kings League è una buffonata che sparirà nel giro di un paio d'anni. Spoiler, probabilmente sono gli stessi che lo avevano detto del padel. C'è chi invece apprezzerà la novità affiancata al calcio tradizionale e chi poi penserà che una lega così è l'unico modo in cui il calcio potrà esistere tra 10 o 20 anni. Scriveteci nei commenti da che parte state, ma intanto cerchiamo di capire qual è la verità.
When we started this adventure, some people described us like the football killer. Football, which is the biggest sport in the world, will disappear and will be replaced by Kings League. We are ambitious, very ambitious, but this is not one of our ambitions. We don't consider ourselves a football killer. Actually, we consider ourselves a football enabler. We are the perfect tool and the perfect way to bring the young generation to the galaxy of football instead of letting them go to UFC, MMA, and other sports that are actually respecting what they're looking for. They're looking for transparency, being involved, something fast, something intense. And if we let other sports do their revolution and football doesn't look at that, then probably in 20 years football will have a problem. I had the same conversation with Luigi, the president of Serie A, and it was such an easy conversation. And he basically told me, we have the same impression, so why don't we work together? And that's the foundation of our partnership, is how do we promote the sports we love together? On our side, we have a certain know-how of the way we can create content that fits with the young generation. This know-how is a know-how that we want to bring to Serie A. We have streamers. Those streamers, they have their communities. In average, the audience that we have is about 50% coming directly from the streamers, 50% on our own channels. That's really important to us because, why? I told you, one of the big principles is that the fan is involved. The fans feel involved. When he put a comment on a platform, the caster, the streamer, read these comments and answer the comment. That's how they build a relationship with the fans.
Yes.
That's what they do. That's something you cannot do on TV. You're on TV, everybody listens to the same comments, and you can put whatever you want on Twitter. They don't give a shit. And we do everything we can to enhance that. For example, we have gamified the mercato. We have a mercato at Kings League, and we have gamified that in a way that residents, the streamers, and fans interact, decide. It's also a good way to look at football. Football is not only for the top stars making billions, it's also for the normal people who can become stars. And Serie A understood that very, very well.
Quindi l'Italia ha accolto bene il nuovo concept calcistico, ma com'è nata l'idea di far partire il campionato da qui e che ne so, non dalla Germania o dall'Inghilterra?
We did the World Cup of Clubs last year in Mexico. And at that World Cup, we gave some wild cards to some teams, and we invited an Italian team that was led by Bloor, the biggest streamer in Italy. And this team participated in the World Cup, and it created a first attraction around the Kings League. And the results were extremely good already back in June 2024. The games were in Mexico in the middle of the night in Italy, and there were like hundreds of thousands of people following the games. Then we did the World Cup of Nations just before launching the league. First World Cup of Nations of our history, from January 1st to January 12th, with the final that happened in the Torino, in the Allianz Arena in Torino, the Juventus Stadium. And we filled the stadium, 40,000 people in the stadium for the final in Brazil, Colombia. So all this creates a very nice hype And then when we started the league in February, we are very happy with the numbers. Every Monday we have about 3.5 million devices connected. So this is great. I mean, it's a fantastic number.
Ora le partite si giocano a Milano in una struttura costruita ad hoc, mentre la finale del campionato sarà alla Inalpi Arena di Torino, ma in futuro c'è da capire quale sarà la location migliore per le sfide.
The Milano Arena is very nice. Build that in very short time. I think it was in 2-3 months that we have built that, and we are very happy with the results. The only thing is that we have a short-term license for this place. So we are now in discussion with the municipality of Milano to either extend this license or to have another place where we'll have a long-term license. It will be in Milano. We like Milano. We like Torino. We are discussing with both cities for the future. Our team is based in Milano. Our offices are in Milano, so Milano is convenient. But Torino welcomed us very, very well for the World Cup. We had a great final over there. The municipality has been very pushy as well and very supportive. So we have a good relationship with both, and we are now having conversation with both cities to discuss the future.
Da quello che abbiamo capito, l'intrattenimento è al centro del modello di business, un'idea che senza dubbio arriva da oltreoceano. Infatti negli Stati Uniti sono maestri nel trasformare un evento sportivo in uno spettacolo che vada oltre l'agonismo dei match. Quali sono quindi le peculiarità di questa idea?
The big difference between American sport and European sport, the Americans are they look at professional sports as a real entertainment business. It must be entertaining from the first minute, but it's actually before the first minute. Before the game starts, it has to be entertaining. I live in the US and I was in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and at that time I was working for a company who was a sponsor of the Warriors. So I went to the Warriors, for example, many times, in the NBA many times, and it starts to be fun as soon as you get into the arena, in the parking lot. Start to be fun. You have things happening. Then you get in, and then you have people giving you plenty of fun stuff that you have to put around your necklace and things like that. And then you go to the bar and things are happening, and then it's entertaining. And then it's really something that must be entertainment from before the game until after the game. And this is something that the Americans are not afraid of. They know that it's professional sport. And it's serious stuff. It's professional athletes at the top level. But it must be very, very fun and very exciting. In Europe, sometimes because it's professional sport, we are a little bit hesitant to put some music. We're a little bit hesitant to put a show in between. We're a little bit hesitant to put during the halftime to put a guys making an artist making a show and things like this, because it must be very serious. It's a serious sport. I think that's the big difference that I learned from the NBA. I mean, at the center there is a human being who wants to have a good time with his family. In my country and a lot of European countries, people are hesitant to bring some kids to the stadium from time to time. Because the experience is not that great for them, because the atmosphere is not that funny, a little bit scary sometimes, and this is something that's the big difference. I mean, have you been to a baseball game? You go to a baseball game, honestly, it's the most boring activity you can find, but you have a good time because you get a hot dog, you have music, you talk with your friends. I remember my first meeting with Adam Silver at the NBA when I joined the NBA, and really we were revisiting the status of the Paris game, and the first thing he asked for is it sold out? And he said, do we have an idea of the fans where they're coming from? And for the first 10 questions, it was all about the fans, the fans. And he asked, it was all about the fan experience. It's not about only competition. Competition is important. I mean, obviously, the NBA is a very, very strong competition, but it has to be fun. How we make it funny? How we make it light? How we make it? How can we make it new every weekend? How can we create something a little bit entertainment based every weekend? How can we make our final memorable as well, which is something we must have a good sports show, but we must have a good show as well, a good experience, something that people will be happy to talk about and happy to bring their kids to.
Se siete arrivati fino in fondo al video, allora siete pronti a spiegare tutto domani in pausa pranzo ai colleghi in ufficio, ma soprattutto vuol dire che i nostri video vi piacciono e vi interessano, quindi iscrivetevi al canale e attivate la campanella per non perdervi nulla.